Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Cosmic Currents, a space for energetic tune-ups. I'm Polly Marie, and I'm here to share alchemized, embodied teachings born from my own journey. My mission is to offer loving wisdom that supports your becoming so you can step fully into your highest expression and walk in harmony with the earth. Every week, we'll dive into a fresh cosmic download. By weaving together the wild unknown archetypes, animal spirits, and your own soul recognition, we'll explore how these energies may show up in your reality. We'll look at the light and the shadow aspects, learning to harmonize these currents as they flow through your unique blueprint. So welcome, everyone, and I hope you are all doing well. Our current this week is: use opposing forces to build your own light. So this is inviting us in to focus on unity, not duality. The idea that opposites are simply different expressions of the same source is what we're wanting to work with here. So it's a powerful perspective shift for navigating difficult life experiences. By becoming a neutral observer in the contrast, we see from the perspective of two frequencies from the same source. When we focus on duality and forget our unity, we're not aligning with our higher self. So this is why we need the contrast of light and dark to act as the opposing force, guiding us back to the truth of higher wisdom. And that wisdom within us lies as a feminine and masculine balance within all living things. So the cosmic download I received was: angels and demons collaborate to guide beings toward their highest destiny. Life's difficulties are essential catalysts for the soul's evolution and spiritual ascension. You must ultimately accept both the light and the dark, feminine and masculine aspects of the self to transmute the original distortion of separation. In doing so, you achieve inner peace and freedom. Okay, so this message feels to me very much about one source, many shades. But first, I want to acknowledge this is in no way meant to diminish the imbalances and the tragedies that have inflicted life on Earth. I know through lived experience. However, we can leverage our pain into purpose, and this current is expressing as just that, using those opposing forces to build our own light. So we use it for purpose and we create real and lasting change. And so many beautiful souls are doing this work every day, shining their light, assisting the collective. So keep up the great work, everyone. Okay, so I believe in this download, the terms angels versus demons is used to grab our attention like a dynamic duo guiding our adventure. It's not saying these frequencies do not exist, and I believe they do, but I prefer to use this term that is referenced from the teachings of Ra and the Law of One, actually, and it's a term of service to self entities that are negatively polarized. And that fits nicely into what we're talking about here, is this polarization. So I will link in the description box the Ra and the Law of One if you want to explore those themes a little further. But I feel it's great to just be aware. Always be aware, and however, it's always best to use your discernment. Yeah, and bring awareness to your emotions and your thoughts and the relationships that you're in. And it's also important to find a supportive community and trusted resources. So if you feel you need extra support in processing any deep trauma, from what I deem these serves to self entities that are negatively polarized, then please tune into your inner wisdom and get that kind of support. So back to life's difficulties. These are the shadows, and seeing them not as punishments, but as essential plot twists and catalysts that help your soul level up and evolve. So the goal isn't to pick a side, light or dark. It's to realize your wholeness comes from embracing both. We can overcome the illusion of separation by accepting every facet within ourselves. Our perception is key. We're encouraged to see through the illusion and seek the underlying harmony in all things. Yes, things have been extremely out of balance, but this is the change we are in now. Amen, right? And to deeper explore what is perfectly unfolding in these planetary alignments, you can do your own research. Or I invite you to even listen to my planetary wave activations playlist. It might be supportive. So by design, the universe and Gaia are perfectly recalibrating the playground of opposites. And it's all one beautified, I love how I combine that. It was say beautiful and unified experience within you. So it's beautified, no doubt. All right, let's dive into the archetype that I pulled for this current, and the animal spirit guide as well. So what came out was the healer and the unicorn. So what a perfect matchup. It's like the best opposites and complements being expressed as this current. So the healer archetype really points me, especially to the depiction on the card, is to the medicine wheel and its geometrical form, like the circle of life. And it was used by First Nations. It's an equivalent to Hindu and Buddhism medicine wheels. And it's showing really that they're all manifestations of a higher human mind. And in a sacred sense, the mind of the creator. So they represent structures that have been grouped or woven together. So it's perfectly showing us that harmony, right? And then that illusion of separation. And this card with the 3 snakes really also speaks to me as the Eastern medicine and the Western medicine, and then the self-healing aspects all being an important role in overall healing. I also feel that as it encompasses here, because these snakes are just going all the way around the moon and the planet, and it's really activating that self-healer by going within and working that shadow as well, with the moon depicted strongly in this card. So the unicorn here feels like an invitation to activate these frequencies, especially if you're new to them, with a sense of curiosity, a sense of imagination, a sense of play. So you want to weave these things together for healing that angel and demon within you, so to speak. So this is so that we don't have to take our healing so seriously. Yet the unicorn also has a light and dark aspect. So let's kind of explore that. The unicorn, in its shadow aspect, forgets its connection to higher wisdom or divinity. But the unicorn, as the healer, coming out here all together, in its light aspect, wakes us up. It wakes us up to that curiosity about the higher self and the divine. So let's put this as a combined message here. And what it's showing us is our natural inclination to remember, to return, and to reclaim our central life force. The unicorn is you remembering your divine nature as self-contained, grateful, and awake. So if you're feeling tired or needy or forgetting healing, then, it's a circuitry process. So we have to remember that healing is multi-layered, right? It's a process like the Ouroboros geometry. And then it's just inviting us back into another round of healing and to continue breaking open that self and the ego. So yes, this means an ego death. It means many ego deaths, and the ego needs deep integration space and time. So approach this in the spirit of the unicorn with that curiosity. And it will be so worth it to be in that unicorn energy. Really remember that ego is a friend. Ego is a friend you want to partner with. You're not kicking them off the playground. So let's read from the guidebook for these two frequencies. Okay? And please remember, you are an eternal being, and this is a cyclical nature of life as the birth, death, and rebirth. So this is what we're speaking to when we're talking about layers of the ego. So the healer in this archetypes guidebook of the wild unknown, this deck, is the light worker, the gifted, and the old soul. Through some claim the work of the healer as their gift, and they name it as their dharma. It's the force of this archetype that is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. So the healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, and to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear, it is multi-layered process, and it always is leading back to its own origin. So nice. Now I want to read from the Animal Spirit Guidebook for the unicorn. This is reconnecting to divine wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity, and it encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from, and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power, and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male? Is it female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? So the unicorn card appears and wakes us up to that curiosity about the higher self and the divine. And it's a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable, the inexplicable. So the mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for answers. So good. So I do have a reflection prompt for everyone, and it's to work with that alchemy of opposition. So consider a current challenge or opposing force in your life right now. identify the opposite. And then what is the specific difficulty or shadow that you're currently facing? And how can you see it through the eyes of the healer and the unicorn? And then once you have a shift, how can you shift in your relationship then to this challenge so that you're no longer resisting it, but you're using its frequency to build your own light? Back to our current. So, yeah, what is that specific lesson that this demon is trying to teach your angel? So, applying this to your own life, you can begin to bridge the gap between distortion of separation. And, we're trying to always be in that 5D frequency of harmony. So I invite you to look in at the geometry through a unified lens. This is the torus. This is the frequency of harmony. And you can visualize this pattern. You can see that each connecting line are just different connecting circular lines within that same geometric masterpiece. They aren't opposing. They are interconnected and providing the necessary geometry for your soul to have a shape. So to me, it looks like, the cosmic inner tube or a donut inviting us into that childlike nature. Right? So you guys remember the devil and the angel cartoons or whatever on our shoulders. The devil and angel on our shoulders are asking you to shift the relationship with your higher self, child self, and the ego self, and to integrate that light and shadow aspect within. So I have a reflection question that you might ask. When you look at the dark and light currently present in your life, can you see them not as enemies, but as the two opposite poles of your own inner fire? And if so, what new power becomes available to you once you stop trying to eliminate one and start using their tension, their polarity, to fuel your highest timeline? When I reflected on this question, it felt relevant for me to share this beautiful Mayan shamanic practice that I was taught. And it was about using darkness to build your inner light. And that practice for them was when coming across an animal that had died, you bless its spirit and you take its frequency within your own heart space. So if there was any pain that animal suffered, it sets the animal spirit free and immediately turns that pain into power as light within the heart of the animal and within the heart of you as connected one being. So it's like plugging into heart coherence as an electric charge. And it does, if you tune into it, it activates deep compassion and love within. And certainly that profound connection for the cycles of life itself and to Gaia herself. So I have an affirmation to end with here. This affirmation is the harmonious creator. I recognize that light and dark are two frequencies of the same divine source. I honor the contrast in my life without being conditioned by it or needing to fix it. By balancing the dualities within me through a shift in my relationship to these frequencies, I transcend the illusion of separation and vibrate in harmony with all of creation. I am the alchemist of my reality. So thank you all so much for being here. I would love to hear what you may be healing, and if connecting with the spirit of the unicorn, what does it reveal to you? And has it revealed some inner power that you have forgotten? So subscribe to tune in to the currents and reclaim your flow. Much